We'll look at how to create fluid simulation in Blender today. Start with the box and select the top face and insert it, and then we will extrude it using the E key, and in the front view we will move it down. We'll come out of edit mode and move the box up. Now we will add a subdivision surface modifier and increase the levels to 2. We'll add an edge loop so that we have a flat bottom for the glass. We'll add another edge loop on top to have a better geometry for the glass on top. We'll go to object mode and turn shade smooth. We'll further model the glass by scaling the bottom. And now the middle part needs to have sharpness, so we'll add an edge loop inside. We'll add a little bit more detail to the glass, but right now the glass is ready. I just added one more edge loop and bulged it out, but this was totally unnecessary. I don't know why I keep modeling. The whole point is to create a container for the fluid to fall. Now there are 3 things in fluid simulation that we need to know. One is the container where the fluid is going to fall, and then the second one is the source from where the fluid is going to fall. So we need to create, it can be any geometry that can be used as the source. We have to apply all the scale for the fluid simulations to work correctly. We also need to create an area where the fluid simulation is going to happen. This is called the domain. Anything inside this, the fluid will work. So this is the most important aspect of the fluid simulation. We'll go to the physics and add fluid and make it a domain. So domain is where the simulation happens, and we will make it liquid. Also make sure that you increase the resolution to 64. At 32 I could not see any animation in any simulation in my file, so I made it 64 and it worked. I'll also reduce the number of frames to 150, and then we will select the cache to all, and then the glass is going to be an effector and it will have 2 samples, and then the geometry will be the flow. It will be a liquid, and the flow type will be inflow, and we'll add a couple of samples. Alright, so these are the 3 important aspects of fluid simulation. Now the domain will make it mesh so that it will become mesh, and then we will bake the simulation. Once you bake the simulation, you will be able to play it. Even if you play, you can see the simulation, but it is better to bake it. It may take a little time depending on the quality of your graphics card and processor. So you can see that my simulation is ready, and when I play it, this is how it looks. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the simulation. We will move on to the rendering part. So we'll add materials. So go to select the glass and reduce the roughness and make the transmission 1 and color to pure white. Turn the screen space refraction on. We'll add another material for the liquid. I used a purple color, reduce the roughness, and again transmission will become 1. We will go to cycles and change the sampling to 32. I get good results for 32, so I don't increase it. We'll add an HDRI image for the environment, and I'm using an indoor image so we can fake the glass being on a piano. You can see that there's a piano in the scene. I'll just move the camera so that I can make the glass look like it is inside the, it's on top of the piano. Okay, so I'm just adjusting the camera here now using the, in the view mode, camera to viewport. And then we'll add a plane which will catch the shadow of the glass. In the object properties, you go to visibility and turn on shadow catcher, and if you render it, you will get your fuel simulation. I'll reduce the resolution. I was going to, but I didn't. So you can see that there's a shadow for the glass, and then the fluid is animated. You can render the scene, and that's the basics of fluid simulation.